Hi everyone, I'm back. I feel like my hair looks really puffy, so I'm gonna try to be like that. But anyways, I'm bringing it back to this book, The Wisdom of Florence Scovel Shinn, and I briefly talked about this book before. But in this book, there's four in one: the game of life, and how to play it. The power of the spoken word, your word is your wand, and the secret door to success. So I really, really, really love her work. Again, I mean, I say again because I've said this in a video before, which was a while ago. But her book is from like the 1940s, 30s time period. So it's coming in on being about 100 years old, right? Did I do the math right? I hope I did the math right. Um, so I really think like her work is very timeless. Actually, let's go look because here it says when the books were made. So The Game of Life was actually made in 1925. That's crazy to think about. So yeah, 100 years. And Your Word is Your Wand was made in 1928. The Secret Door to Success, 1940, and The Power of the Spoken Word, 1945. So in this book, she really talks about like what does it mean to live a certain lifestyle and achieve the goals that you set in life, right? But a lot of her teachings are based in spirituality, Christianity. She makes references to other cultures, groups of people, religion as well. But at the core of it, it's more so about like, what are you expecting in life? What are you saying? What are you surrounding yourself with? How are you looking at life? What is your perspective? And then don't be surprised when that perspective comes back to you. So, today I want to talk about the way of abundance. And so the way of abundance comes from the secret door of success. It's one of her chapters. And then I also shortly want to talk about the law of karma and the law of forgiveness, which is from the game of life and how to play it. But the passage from the law of karma and the law of forgiveness is connected with the way of abundance. And it's also connected with some stuff that I have to share. So, let's start with the way of abundance, okay? And I'm going to be reading a passage and then commenting on it and also talking about how I've used the way of abundance and this type of thinking in my life and stuff that has basically presented itself to me or things that I've just gotten just because, I've literally said it or I've thought about it. Um, and then I get it. So let's start with the way of abundance. I know a woman who had always been limited in her ideas of prosperity. She was continually making her old clothes do instead of buying new clothes. She was very careful of what money she had, and she was always advising her husband not to spend so much. She said repeatedly, I don't want anything I can't afford. She couldn't afford much, so she didn't have much. Suddenly, her whole world cracked up. Her husband left her, weary of her nagging and limited thoughts. She was in despair when one day she came across a book on metaphysics. It explained the power of thoughts in words. She realized that she realized she had invited every unhappy experience by wrong thinking. She laughed heartedly at her mistakes and decided to profit by them. She determined to prove the law of abundance. She used what money she had fearlessly to show her faith in her invisible supply. She relied upon God as the source of her prosperity. She no longer voiced lack and limitation. She helped herself feeling and looking prosperous. Her old friends scarcely recognized her. She had swung into the way of abundance. More money came to her than she had ever had before. Unheard of doors opened, amazing channels were freed. She became very successful in a work she had no training for. She found herself on miracle ground. What had happened? She had changed the quality of her words and thoughts. She had taken God into her confidence and into all her affairs. She had many 11th hour demonstrations, but her supply always came. For she dug her ditches deep and gave thanks without wavering. Someone called Someone called me up recently and said, "I am looking desperately for a position." I replied, "Don't desperately look for it. Look for it with praise and thanksgiving, for Jesus Christ, the greatest of metaphysicians, said to pray with praise and thanksgiving. Praise and thanksgiving open the gates, for expectancy always wins." I'm also going to read this other passage and then get into some other stuff. So I've skipped some parts, okay? You must have a great desire for financial freedom. You must feel yourself rich. You must see yourself rich. You must continually prepare for riches. Become as a little child and make believe you are rich. You are then impressing the subconscious with expectancy. The imagination is man's workshop, the scissors of the mind, where he is constantly cutting out the events of his life. All right. So I really want to just reflect on those pieces and thinking about the way of abundance. And I'll say I started reading this book, I want to say maybe a year ago or less than a year ago, maybe 10 months or so now. And when I first started reading this book, I really took heed to living in the way of abundance. And I did it, of course, in my own way. Everybody should always go on any type of journey their own way. But in my own thinking of abundance, for example, I'm in the field of education, right? And so many times people will say, "Oh, you're in education, you don't have access to XYZ, you don't have access to an unlimited salary, you don't have access to, um, let's say, financial freedom," because that's what she mentioned in the book. When really, that has its own truths. Are people in education, like, a lot of times on their own salary and there's no overtime? There may not be other ways to make extra money depending on what field you're in education, or even what you do in education, right? So even though that may be true for some people, don't let that limit any of your ideas. Don't let it limit any of your ideas. Okay? And I will also say that when I started reading this book, I really started to embody the way of abundance and being very appreciative of what I have. And in an instant, my bank account was like just doing crazy numbers, okay? And honestly, the only thing that I did differently during that time was the level of like gratitude that I was having every single day, the level of just being thankful that I woke up for the day and understanding that today is the day of my amazing good fortune. Today is the day, right? Today is the day when everything goes my way. Today is the day when my dreams come true. And when I really started telling myself that and embodying that, it was just, it was actually amazing. And I don't just say this to, promote the book or anything, or to promote any type of particular thinking, but really when you start noticing the way of abundance and understanding that everything is working out for you and everything is always coming your way and you don't need to worry about what's going to happen, that's the true way of abundance. Okay? Let's see. Let's see. All right, actually, I'm going to share some stuff. So, I want to share some stuff that I recently got, again, just to show like my mindset, the way of abundance, and the way that I view things. Okay, so if anybody knows me in real life, people know that I love stuff like skincare, makeup, anything nice. Like, if it feels like nice or expensive, I love it. And I just grew up that way, so that's what I appreciate now. And I've really been deciding like what type of stuff I wanted to get into. I really wanted to get into different types of purses. I'm already into makeup. I try all types of makeup, whether it's drugstore makeup to high end. To me, it matters, yes, but I'm open to trying all kinds of stuff. So I'm ready to take dive into something else, still keeping my makeup and my skincare and all that, but also finding different ways to express myself and just to express things that are like in my head, things that I love, things that I want just because I want it. Like we're here on this planet to just be happy. That's it. Like we're here on this planet to be happy, do good things, yada yada yada. So I'm getting into more jewelry, and I really want to start like a bracelet stack. So I started with these ones that I have. A lot of these came from my mom as gifts. So I have this Pandora bracelet, which she gave to me. I'll get back to this one. I also have this Pandora bracelet. It's pink and green. I have other charms, but this bracelet was specifically made by my mom. She put all this stuff together for me, and I put on my bracelet. And then I also have this pearl bracelet here with a little gold heart. Again, it's all pink. And then going back to this bracelet, it's stainless steel. It has crystals on it. And it also comes with a matching watch. This is by JBW. I'll show you the box and all. Hold on. By JBW. So this bangle bracelet came with the watch. So I also have that. The watch has diamonds and crystals in it. So yeah, I have to get the watch size, but I love this watch. And it has this bracelet that goes with it. So I'll just show you all. Okay, so this is what it looks like all together. I have to get the watch size. As you can see, it's too big, but I've really been liking having stuff on my wrists. So I'm trying to get more into that. I also have recently ordered a David Yurman bracelet, so I'm waiting for that to come in. It should be coming in the next few days. I ordered it yesterday. It's a vintage piece from the 1990s. So maybe I'll do a video on that as well, but I'm just gonna put my watch away. And then another thing that I bought after I got the David Yurman, I was at the antique store and I saw this Tiffany and Company. So I already have shined it. I did a little boiled water with foil and baking soda, and I let it soak, and then I rinsed it and brushed it and stuff. But I found this Return to Tiffany heart toggle, 17 inches, from the antique store. So I'm very excited about this. Already shined it and tried my best to, get it all ready for me. So this is added to my necklace stack. Okay. So, related back to the book. So, why buy stuff like this? Why have like a Return to Tiffany necklace? Why have your little watch that you got? Why have your bracelet stack? Why have abundance? Why have abundance? Because it's literally showing you everything in your mind that you have thought, and then that is an expression of yourself. It's perfect self-expression, right? And also keeping in mind that even if you want something like a Tiffany necklace, or if somebody wants something like a high-end bag, or if somebody wants a high-end car, or if somebody wants XYZ, you can go out there and get it, right? There's not just one way to get it. Nobody said you have to get it one particular way. You just have to go out there and get it. You have to figure out how to go out there and get it and literally live a prosperous lifestyle. Because if you're always living in lack and limitation, you're never going to see your abundance come true. If all you talk about is everything negative, when are you ever going to see the positive? Like that doesn't it doesn't make sense, right? So, for example, yes, I got my Tiffany necklace at the antique store, but that doesn't mean that's going to stop me from getting more Tiffany. That doesn't mean it's going to stop me from doing X, Y, Z. This is just one expression of something that I really like, and I've decided, hey, this was presented to me because I thought about it in my mind. Now it's presented to me on the external. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to relish in it and I'm going to get it. The law of abundance. But anyways, let's also read from The Game of Life and How to Play It, the law of karma and the law of forgiveness. For example, a woman came to me asking treatment for prosperity. She did not take much interest in her household affairs, and her home was in great disorder. I said to her, if you wish to be rich, you must be orderly. All men with great wealth are orderly, and order is heaven's first law. I added, you will never become rich with a burnt match in the pincushion. She had a good sense of humor and commenced immediately, putting her house in order. She rearranged furniture, straightened out bureau drawers, cleaned rugs, and soon made a big financial demonstration, a gift from a relative. The woman herself became made over and keeps herself keyed up financially by being ever watchful of the external and expecting prosperity, knowing God is her supply. Many people are in ignorance of the fact that gifts and things are investments and that hoarding and saving invariably leads to loss. Let's pause there. Hoarding and saving invariably leads to loss. Going back to when I first started reading the book and thinking about the way of abundance, I was like all in it every day. The way of abundance, being grateful, showing gratitude, loving everything around me, right? And then with that particular job, I didn't get paid. Okay, so I started working that job like around March or so. And around March or so, that's when I like found this book. I started reading and I was like, wow, she's really like making sense, right? And then during the summer, I wasn't able to be paid during the summer just because they paid everybody based on 10 months instead of 12 months. So we still basically got our pay for the year, but it was split up between 10 months. So I didn't have the chance to save up my salary from September all the way through the end of the school year. I could only save it up from March through the end of the school year. So I started, really worrying, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to get through the summer, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, I made it through the summer. Here I am, still living where I live. Nothing went bad, right? But those summer months, I wasn't as like mindful. I wasn't as grateful for what was happening in my life. I wasn't being appreciative that even though it was the summer and I wasn't getting, full pay, I still had a part-time job and I still was able to continue my lifestyle. I didn't recognize that. All I saw was the lack of the situation and I didn't see the greatness of the situation, right? So, come September, more things happened. I, got another job and I really had to take time to recuperate myself from such negative thinking because it was a really like 3 months of positive thinking, 3 months of negative thinking, new school year, right? So now I'm still doing the work to reprogram myself in being very thankful, very mindful, understanding that everything is always working out, understanding that I don't have to worry. It's going to be okay, right? And understanding that honestly, like, yes, somebody can have, and I don't want to say this to come off as like condescending or, a certain way, but if I ever get to the point where I'm like, oh my goodness, times are really tough, blah blah blah, I know that for me, I just need to open up my mind to money making ideas, right? Open up your mind to different ways that you can make money, because there is so much money out there to make, right? That I would just have to open up my mind to a money making idea. All you have to do is go outside, look around, and your mind will be opened up to money making ideas. So that's what I wanted to get on here and share again. I tried making a connection between what I'm reading, being very grateful, having a mindset of abundance, and, getting things for yourself, um, just to like express yourself. You know what I mean? Like, just how I said, like, I got this necklace. Like, this was just me, like, literally leaping into faith. And I was like, you know what? I want it. Um, but again, like, I'm not saying that to come from the place of like, oh, just buy what you want, do whatever you want. Yes, you can buy what you want. Yes, you can do what you want. Yes, be responsible about your decisions, but also don't limit yourself. If you want something, you have to work for it. Like, you have to figure out how you're going to go out there and get it. It's fine to want whatever you want. You can want that car. You can want that piece of jewelry. You can want it, but how are you going to go out there and get it? Right? Don't put any limits on yourself. Like, really think about that. Don't put any limits on yourself. I know when I journal, I heard somewhere that people like to journal about the best case scenario. Well, what's the best case scenario going to be? If you have your journal and you're writing in it, what is your best case scenario? Why are you going to sit there and spend all that time and energy writing about the worst case scenario? Well, what's the best case scenario? Because that's all I want to hear about. I don't want to hear about what the worst case scenario is and, oh, well, I can't do that because it's not the right time. It's not the right time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next year. Why? Why? What's stopping you from just going out there and learning something new? What's stopping you from going out there and going to the store? You don't have to buy it. You could go there and browse. You can go there and browse, but I will always suggest that you should just go out there and get it. Go out there and see yourself in a certain place. If you say, oh, I know in my heart I want to do XYZ, so go out there and go. And then when you come back, let me know what it's like. Was it fun? Was it what you expected it to be? What was it like? You want to go out there and backpack? Okay, well, go try it. And then come back and let us know how it is. You don't have to go out to ski or whatever in the Swiss Alps for the first time. You could do it somewhere local. Go do it. Experience it. See how it feels. What kind of like thoughts did you have? Would you do it again? Maybe next time go do it in a different place. So, anyways, those are my thoughts. Thank you for anybody who stayed and listened, and I'll see you all next time.